What's up, guys? Got a different type of video here today. We are looking at how cheap we can make a motorcycle related trailer. So our goal here is to see how cheap we can make a trailer, motorcycle oriented, motorcycle safe, but not spend a ton of money, because I know a budget is a lot of people's concern. Currently, in my current situation, is I'm paying for a wedding, so I couldn't afford at this point to go out and buy a $2,000 enclosed trailer like I want to. It's just not financially responsible at this point, considering we're spending for a wedding. So what I did is, in the meantime, until after the wedding, I bought a cheap trailer. I spent $150 on a trailer, brought it home. I had a trailer before, had small tires, wasn't good for long distances. So I found this trailer, which was super cheap, but has 15-inch tires, which is more than applicable for the highway. Gonna go ahead and put some effort into restoring it up and installing some stuff to make it motorcycle related. Want to bring you guys along and kind of show you how expensive you can make it and still be financially responsible. Alright guys, so as you can tell, got a nice trailer here, big tires, almost brand new. They look really good, so I'm not going to have to do anything with that. Dog's always trying to get in the shot, always trying to kill the video. But as you can tell, got a lot of rust, flat trailer, pretty simple.
Don't jump on it.
Missing the swivel arm in the front. 2-inch hitch requirement, needs new lights. But again, when you're buying stuff on the cheap, you know you're gonna have to put work into it. So what we're gonna do here now is we're basically gonna take a grinder. Take a grinder with some sanding. Gonna sand it all down so it's nice and clean. Probably pop off these 4 bolts, pull off the cover, sand the frame so it's nice and clean. And then we're gonna run up and pick up some spray paint and spray paint it. Drill some holes for some anchors so we can anchor the bike down. I have a wheel chock, which I bought for a trailer that I had before, but now I'm going to put on this. So we're going to drill some holes for some U-bolts so we can secure the front wheel chock. And then we'll get to putting on some lights. Alright, so just remember, safety first. Got our earplugs and our safety goggles.
A few moments later. One eternity later.
Alright guys, we are back several days later after the first extravaganza that we had going. Oh man, I've been about 3 days working on this diligently. Got it to a point where I think it's not just tedious work anymore, and I can show you the things that I've done, as well as what I've currently planned to do with the stuff that I've gotten that just came in today. So just as you know, I was sanding, continued sanding process. We removed the decking from the trailer. Continued to sand. I've since painted the frame, painted the decking, drilled some holes, mounted the decking back on, and then mounted the wheel chock on. What I've got left to do is I've drilled holes for some anchors, which, as I look at it, it's probably not big enough, so we'll have to drill some bigger holes for the anchors. Install the chains, install the license plate. I filled the tires up to their designated pressures. I need to make sure that they've held pressure to make sure that there's no small leaks. I don't think there is, but I just want to verify to be safe. And then the last part we have to do is just put the lights on. That will be it for another day though, because the lights are in Akron. I'm in Toledo. So this weekend when I'm out in Akron, I'm gonna get the lights put on. But that won't be a long time for you, I don't think. But let's go ahead and get into it. Let me show you what you guys that I've done. I'm gonna switch over to the handheld gimbal. Alrighty guys, so here you can tell the trailer has since become black. Painted everything. Just a standard engine enamel paint with a primer. As you can see, I've drilled some holes, re-secured the decking with brand new bolts, and installed the back sleeve wheel chock. And then to do that, I just did some U-bolts through the decking, and then they're washered and double nutted with for a locking nut on the bottom. So I've bought some chains which have the safety on them so that they won't come off the trailer, and bought these, which are 1/2-inch anchor bolts, which weigh up to 2,600 pounds brake strength or 860 working load. Bike's only 400 pounds, so if I'm doing it with 4, it's about 100 pounds per, I would say. So this should be well more than enough than what we need. So let's go ahead and get into to moving forward with getting this stuff installed. Okay, so the bolts I drilled were not big enough, so we're gonna have to drill bigger holes. And we're gonna do that by applying a little bit of cutting grease. Drill that. Okay. Alright, just wanted to make sure we didn't have any of those metal shavings for when we move stuff around. I don't want the bike to pick up any of those shavings or any of the tire. Okay, so let's check, make sure we got proper air pressure. Okay, so this one lost about 2 pounds. It could be weather related, I'm not sure. But overall, I'm happy with the amount of air that they helped me with. Okay, so the trailer is finally set up and done, as you can tell. Mounted, minus the lights, guys. So this is just as far as I can go today. But I got the bike up there into the back sleeve wheel chock, into the anchors, the canyon dancers. So I think pretty much this is what it's gonna look like, minus the lights. And again, the goal was to be as affordable as possible with this. Could have bought the trailer, the Pitbull trailer restraint system, which probably would have been a lot easier than all these straps. But that's $300, not something I was trying to not teach you guys. So, alrighty, let's go ahead and go inside and tally up and see what this all cost. The first thing I'm going to go ahead and throw up on the thing is obviously the cost of the trailer at $150. That was the main expense that we had to purchase. Again, I tried to do this as inexpensively as possibly as I could, but still making it the way that I wanted to do it without sacrificing potential safety that I wanted to make sure. So if you're risking the potential safety of your motorcycle, there's no point in saving the money. It's not worth the extra headache of potentially not getting your motorcycle from location A to location B. Second thing we had to purchase for the motorcycle was some bolts, U-bolts, nuts, washers, a whole bunch of those, so that way we can secure the decking back to the frame, to secure the wheel chock to the decking, as well as the other miscellaneous nuts and bolts that we needed to secure the anchors, to install the chain. That cost $25 for those nuts and bolts. I just went to Menards up here and picked up some fairly inexpensive nuts and bolts that were of decent quality. The next thing we had to purchase was some sanding discs. Spent $10 on several sanding discs. As you could see, it took us a long time. I think it took me 3 days. We went middle of the road. We ended up spending $40 between paint and primer. In all fairness, I probably could have dropped it down to about $30 because I still have a can and a half that I did not use. I had to buy 2 new chains for the trailer. Again, not going to sacrifice the safety of the motorcycle to save $15 and or get a ticket later on for not having the chains. So went ahead and purchased the chains. Next thing was the anchors. Spent $25 on those anchors. That necessarily is something that you may or may not need. If you're looking on an extreme budget, I would say the anchors is probably one of the few things on this list that I don't think you necessarily would have needed. And then lights, we went to Walmart and bought some inexpensive lighting kit for $30. So those are the items so far that I think are a necessity to building the trailer and making it capable of being a nice trailer in general. And here are some other things that you may need to include into your cost analysis if you're going to move forward with doing this. Obviously, we had to put a license plate on there. That involved registering. That doesn't matter if you have a super cheap trailer or a super expensive trailer. Obviously, depending on the state that you're involved in, it's going to determine how expensive that is. For me, it was only $36. But because my trailer didn't have a title, which in the state of Ohio, any trailer under 4,000 pounds doesn't have a title, you have to include a weight slip that shows that it's under 4,000 pounds. And to do that, I had to go to a scale, and they charged me $11. So for the license plate in general, it cost me $47. I did have to buy a different ball for it because the ball I had was 1 7/8", and this was a 2-inch receiver. So that's going to depend on if you have it. Roughly, those go for about $10 to $20. If you need a receiver, usually you can get a receiver and ball kit for $20. So we'll put $20 on the screen. I bought new straps. I had straps, but I went with new straps that have the safety to them so that they can't come free of the anchor and or the canyon dancers. That's another safety thing that I decided that I figured I'd want to move forward. It was only $20 to get the extra straps, and I thought that was well worth the safe peace of mind knowing that it wasn't going to come free of the anchor or the canyon dancers. Canyon dancers is something that I think is an incredible tool for using to transport a motorcycle. Canyon dancers and or soft straps is something that I think is kind of important, and you can pick those up for about $20. Drill bits. I had to drill holes into several pieces of metal, so I bought extra drill bits. That cost me about $30 for all the drill bits that I ordered. That includes the cutting oil that I used as well to try to help preserve the drill bits for about $30. And then the last thing, which is something that I think is super important in the safety of the motorcycle, was the wheel chock. Now, I went with the top of the line wheel chock that you can get called a Baxley wheel chock. Brand new, they run for $2.99. The same cost as the trailer restraint system. If you're buying brand new, I would probably recommend the trailer restraint system. I was able to find a Baxley wheel chock from a Ohio motorcycle forum for $99. So it was super less expensive than going with the trailer restraint system because I really couldn't find one on sale for that. I considered both options. All costs included, which some of the costs did not apply to me because I already had things such as the canyon dancers, the wheel chock. I already had those prior to purchasing this trailer. I had some straps, you know, things like that you may or may not need, such as drill bits and or sanding discs. I don't know what you guys may or may not have, but I'll include everything. Costs just over $500. Far cheaper than the $2,000 that it would cost just for an enclosed trailer. On top of that, you would still need to buy, you know, some sort of restraint system, such as a wheel chock and or the Pitbull trailer restraint system. So you still have costs no matter what trailer you go with. But overall, I think I did a pretty good, inexpensive build for something that's gonna get me to point A to point B, look fairly decent, and do what I'm looking for it to do. Thanks for watching the video, guys. I hope you got a little bit of something out of this. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Don't forget to hit the notification bell to alert you when I post new content. Thank you for supporting the channel. Stay safe if you're still riding out there. As always, keep the rubber side down. Don't forget to enjoy the moment. And until the next video, we'll catch you guys later. Bye.